3, 2, 1.
Stop. Forget what you saw in the news this morning. Forget the corrupt politicians, forget inflation, or the next pandemic. The real threat to your family, the one that could turn your safe neighborhood into a war zone in 48 hours, isn't on CNN or Fox News. It's humming quietly in the walls of your house right now. And when it turns against you, and it will turn against you, you'll have exactly 48 hours before everything you know as normal society ceases to exist. Right now, at this very second, artificial intelligence controls the three things keeping your family alive: your power, your water, your money. Not the power company, not your bank manager. An algorithm. A machine that doesn't know your name, doesn't care about your kids, and is programmed to sacrifice you the moment things go wrong. They call it the smart grid. I call it what it really is: the single point of betrayal. One silent line of code, one algorithmic decision, and 80% of America goes dark. Not for days, for months. And your generator won't save you. I know that sounds insane. Trust me, I wish it were. But I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to show you the one defense they can't see coming. The simple, analog secret that makes your home invisible to the system. A phantom. What you're about to learn in the next 3 minutes will fundamentally change how you see the world. You'll never look at a light switch the same way. If you truly believe the government will protect you when the grid fails, if you think FEMA will save the day, click away now. But if you're a patriot who takes your family's safety seriously, if you understand that when things go wrong, you are on your own, are you ready? Let me tell you what smart grid actually means. It means your power company doesn't run the power anymore. The AI does. The water treatment plant? The AI controls it. The financial networks that prove you own your house? The AI manages them. And here's what should terrify you. When a crisis hits, whether it's the elites taking over the system, a cyber attack from China, or riots breaking out due to mass job losses, no human will be making the decisions about who gets power and who goes dark. The AI will decide, in a fraction of a second, based on cold, mathematical logic. Let me show you exactly how this works. The old power grid was simple. When a tree fell on a power line, a guy drove out, flipped the switch, rerouted power. Done. Power back on in hours. Slow? Sure, but controllable. The new smart grid? It's, quote, intelligent. It uses AI for load balancing and optimal resource allocation. Here's what that actually means. When disaster strikes, the AI makes a cold calculation. It looks at the entire country like a spreadsheet, and it decides which cells get deleted. Your neighborhood? Not a priority, not critical infrastructure. You're what they call acceptable collateral damage. The AI will sacrifice you, shut down your entire state if it has to save the data centers in Virginia, to keep the lights on in DC, to protect what they consider essential systems. And here's the nightmare. When AI shuts it down, it doesn't just flip a switch. The AI creates a digital lock to protect itself. It would take human engineers weeks or months to manually fix. This isn't a bug. This is by design. The AI's job isn't to keep your power on. It's to protect the grid itself and critical infrastructure. And if sacrificing 50 million people means the core system survives, that's an acceptable trade. Picture this with me. It's a Tuesday night, you're on the couch watching TV, your wife's scrolling through her phone, your kids are upstairs doing homework, and then, without warning, everything goes dark. Not just your house, the entire street. Every house is black, streetlights dead. You check your phone, no signal. Probably just a blackout, you tell your wife. Power will be back on soon. But it won't be.
Day 1. You light some candles. Find the flashlight. The batteries are almost dead, but it's fine. Your phone still has 60% battery. You try calling your relatives. No service. No internet. The cell towers are down. That's weird. They have backup power. Your neighbor's in his driveway, staring at his phone, shaking his head. I'm sure it'll be back soon, you tell your wife. Day 2. Your phone is at 20%. Your wife keeps checking hers anyway. Your daughter is panicking. She can't text her friends. You find a battery-powered radio. Static. More static. Finally, widespread power outage affecting multiple states. Shelter in place. Multiple states? Your stomach tightens. This isn't a local blackout. Day 3. You turn on the kitchen faucet to fill water bottles. The tap sputters. A thin stream, then nothing. Water pressure is gone. The electric pumps are dead. You try the bathroom. Dry. You have 3 half-empty water bottles in the fridge. Maybe a gallon in the pitcher. Your kids drink that in a day. We'll figure it out, you say. But you don't know how. Day 5. Both phones are dead. No news. No information. Your son asks, "When is the power coming back?" You don't have an answer. Dave knocks on your door. He's got his generator running. You can hear it humming from his garage. "Just checking if you guys need anything," he says. "I can charge your phones, keep some stuff cold." You're almost envious. Dave was prepared. You weren't. His wife is diabetic, and he's keeping her insulin cold. Smart guy. "We're okay for now," you say. "Thanks, though." As you close the door, you think, "I should have bought a generator." Day 6. You hear Dave's generator still running. That steady hum from 3 houses down. Then you hear shouting on your street. Loud voices. You look out the window. 5 neighbors are standing in Dave's driveway. They're not asking nicely anymore. One guy is yelling about his kid's medication, another about food spoiling. Dave's generator has become a beacon. Everyone knows he has power. Everyone wants some. You lock your doors. Check them twice. Day 7. You drive to the grocery store for water and canned food. Gas station pumps don't work. No electricity. You have a quarter tank. That's it. At the store, chaos. Screaming. Overturned carts. Smashed windows. No food, no water, nothing. 1 cop car. 1 overwhelmed officer yelling into a dead radio. You drive home. As you pass Dave's house, you notice his generator isn't running anymore. You don't tell your wife what you saw. Day 8. You try your ATM card. System unavailable. You have $83 cash in your wallet. That's all the money you can access. Your life savings are locked behind a digital door that won't open. How long can you stretch $83? You haven't heard Dave's generator since this morning. Either he ran out of gas, or he shut it off because it was painting a target on his house. Either way, being prepared with a generator didn't save him. Day 9. Gunshots. Not close, but not far. 3 blocks, maybe 4. Your wife is crying. Your daughter is asking why this is happening. Your son looks at you. "Dad, are we going to be okay?" You want to say yes, but you're in a dark house with no water, no food, no communication, and no idea when or if the power is coming back. Dave had a generator. It didn't matter. It just made him a target. I am not prepared for this. Day 10. A knock at your door. 2 a.m. You grab the gun from your bedside safe, hands shaking. You look through the peephole. Dave, your neighbor, the guy from block parties, whose kids play with your kids, the guy who had a generator. But he's not alone. 3 other men you don't recognize. Dave looks desperate, angry, different. "We know you have water," he says. "I don't," you say through the door. "I'm in the same boat." "You didn't have a generator running," one of the other men says. "That means you've been conserving. That means you have something." They think because you didn't advertise you had power, you must be hiding resources. You're standing in your own house, gun in hand, deciding whether you'll have to shoot your neighbor. This is the 10-day domino effect. It happens in every major prolonged blackout. New Orleans after Katrina, Puerto Rico after Maria, Texas during the freeze. It's not speculation, it's sociology. It's history. It's human nature. And here's what should make you furious. The people who built this system know this will happen. They've run the simulations. They've seen the projections. They've watched the models play out. They built it anyway. Why? Because the AI will protect them. The elites, the insiders, the protected zones. You're on your own. Unless you know what I know. Hi, my name's Thomas Miller, but that's not my real name. It's what I use to stay invisible. For 12 years, I was a senior systems engineer for one of the Magnificent Seven, one of the 7 biggest tech companies on Earth. I was building the AI that now controls America's infrastructure. I made $340,000 a year. I thought I was helping people. Then came March 14th, 2023, my daughter's 11th birthday. That morning, my team ran a cyberattack simulation on the Pacific Northwest grid. I watched the AI make its decision in real time. Hard quarantine protocol initiated. Washington, Oregon, Northern California, completely black. 14.2 million people. 90 days of shutdown. The casualty projection flashed on my screen. 87,000 to 124,000 deaths in 30 days. Not from the blackout, from the chaos. You can't sacrifice 14 million people, I said. My boss looked at me, face blank. The AI's logic is sound. We protect the critical nodes. Everything else is an acceptable loss. I looked around. 5 engineers. People I'd worked with for years. No one objected. No one was horrified. As God is my witness, seeing their reaction pierced a hole in my heart. I walked out, threw up in the bathroom. I'd spent 12 years building the weapon that could kill my own family. I lived in Portland, right in the acceptable loss zone. That night, I withdrew $9,000, went to my daughter's birthday dinner, smiled and sang happy birthday. Inside, I was screaming. 3 days later, we were gone. Quit via email. Sold the house below market. Disappeared. Because I realized, if my family stays on the grid, we're sacrificable. I swore I'd find the one defense that could beat what I built. The blind spot. Here's what I figured out during that year in hiding. The AI is God in the digital world. It sees every smart meter, every transaction, every connected device. It knows when you turn on your lights, run your dishwasher, even predicts your power usage down to the minute. All-seeing, all-knowing, all-powerful in the digital realm. But in the analog world, it's completely blind. The AI can only see things with a digital signal. Things that connect to the network. If it can't measure it digitally, if there's no sensor, no smart meter, no connection, to the AI, it doesn't exist. That's the blind spot they never accounted for. Silicon Valley engineers can't conceive of a defense that doesn't involve more technology, more software, more connectivity. But I can, because I know exactly how the AI hunts. I engineered a defense protocol that exploits this blindness, a system that makes your home a phantom asset, completely invisible to the smart grid. No digital signature, no traceable power, no algorithmic footprint. When the hard quarantine protocol initiates, when the AI sacrifices your region, your house stays powered while your neighbors go dark. You have water while taps run dry. You have communication while everyone else is isolated and terrified. I call it the grid phantom system. This isn't a survival guide about stockpiling canned food. This is a counterintelligence operation designed by someone who knows exactly how the AI surveillance network operates. It's built on 4 pillars. 4 systems that each exploit a fatal flaw in the AI's architecture. Pillar 1, phantom power. The AI tracks your power consumption through your smart meter. reports every 15 minutes, knows your patterns, when you're home, what you're running. First step, become invisible to that tracking. You'll build a silent, off-grid power source using $147 worth of forgotten hardware from any auto parts store. Not solar panels. Those cost $20,000 to $35,000, and the utility company's AI still monitors them. They're connected to the grid. The AI can see them. Not a generator. Loud motors scream, "I have power," to desperate neighbors. Plus, they run on gas that vanishes in 48 hours. This is a phantom power system, completely analog, completely silent, completely invisible. Pre-digital technology that's been around 80 years, but everyone forgot when smart systems came online. The AI literally cannot detect it. No smart meter, no network connection, no signal. To the AI, you're not using any power at all. This runs your essentials for weeks: lights, radio, small refrigerator, medical devices, communication equipment. And if a foreign adversary drops an EMP, this system still works. Built on pre-digital mechanical principles that EMP pulses can't fry. When everyone else's solar and generators are fried, you'll still have power. Pillar 2, water sovereignty. When the grid goes down, water stops. Within 6 to 12 hours, pressure drops to zero. Everyone fights over bottled water that runs out in 24 hours. But here's what most don't know. Your home's plumbing contains a hidden emergency reserve, potentially 40 to 60 gallons. The city doesn't know you have access to. You'll install one piece of $40 hardware, a simple mechanical valve that isolates your home's water from the city grid. When pumps die and neighbors' taps run dry, you'll have clean, safe water on demand. No complex filtration, no expensive purification, just simple mechanical physics. The AI can't see this. There's no digital monitoring on your internal plumbing. You'll have water. Your neighbors won't. They'll never know why. Pillar 3, the identity cloak. This is where the AI wins the war against you personally. When the grid goes dark, the AI doesn't just lock you out. It initiates an algorithmic erasure. Your digital existence is purged. Bank account? Inaccessible. Property deed? Locked in a corrupted offline database. Investment accounts, insurance, medical records, everything that proves who you are and what you own is trapped behind walls you cannot break. Here is the true horror, based on the simulation I saw. Once the grid is rebooted months later, your data may be gone forever, while the elite's records remain intact. If you can't immediately prove ownership using an analog sealed document, the system will assume you have forfeited your assets. The threat isn't just theft, it's algorithmic forfeiture. The secret isn't just storing paper, that's obvious. The secret is the analog signature protocol I engineered to resist the AI's database corruption. I'll show you the exact two-step process to create your physical identity cloak, a fireproof, waterproof archive that survives any digital collapse. You will learn the specific forensic sealing method for notarizing and preserving, physical copies of property deeds, certified vital records, the crucial backup access credentials needed to reclaim your bank and investment accounts after the digital purge. This method takes just 3 hours and costs $60 in supplies, but it uses insider knowledge to ensure your paper documents are legally untouchable by the returning centralized system. When the digital world collapses, paper backed by an engineer's protocol becomes the only currency that matters. Pillar 4, blackout communication. Your cell phone is a brick when towers go dark. Internet dead, landline dead. You're isolated. No idea if this is local or national, if help is coming, if you should stay or leave. Information becomes more valuable than food. I'll show you 3 dirt-cheap, overlooked communication tools that let you contact family 200 miles away when every digital network is dead. And it isn't a sat phone. No license required. No technical knowledge. Total cost, under $60. Analog systems that have been around for decades, but nobody thinks about anymore. When smartphones stop working, these become lifelines. You'll be the only person on your street who knows what's actually happening. And that information advantage could save your life. The entire Grid Phantom system takes 48 hours to implement. One weekend. Less than $250 in materials. Once it's built, you're ungovernable, unsacrificable, a phantom. The AI can't see you, can't measure you, can't sacrifice you. Because to the AI, you don't exist. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I'll just buy a generator, problem solved. Let me tell you why that's a death sentence. A decent generator costs $4,000 to $8,000 for one big enough to run your essentials. It runs on gasoline. You know what happens to gas stations in a prolonged blackout? The pumps stop working in 48 hours. The fuel trucks stop coming. The gas is gone. You've got maybe a week of generator fuel if you're lucky. Then you're back in the dark. But here's the worst part. Generators are loud. That roaring motor, the one you can hear from 2 blocks away, it's a giant neon sign that says, "I have power, I have resources, come take them." You just painted a target on your house. In a crisis, when everyone else is sitting in the dark with no water and no food, do you really want to be the house that's loudly advertising that you're prepared? That's how you get your door kicked in at 3 a.m. Okay, fine. What about solar panels then? Solar is better than a generator, I'll give you that. But here's the problem. You're looking at $20,000 to $35,000 for a complete solar system with battery backup. That's financially out of reach for most working families. And even if you can afford it, here's what most people don't realize. The utility company's AI still monitors grid-tied solar systems. They track your production. They measure your consumption. They can remotely disable your system if they decide it's destabilizing the grid. You spent $30,000 to stay on the grid you're trying to escape. Plus, solar panels are a big, visible installation. Your neighbors know you have them. The county knows you have them. You're on the list. When things get desperate, who do you think people are going to target? The dark houses with nothing? Or the house with the big, obvious solar panels on the roof? The only way to beat the AI grid lockout is to become invisible and unprogrammable. You can't outspend the system. You can't out-tech the system. But you can build a defense the AI simply cannot detect. Silent, cheap, analog, untrackable. That's the Grid Phantom system, the analog defense protocol engineered by an AI insider to make your family invisible to the digital beast. And you need this system today. Look, I need to be straight with you about something. I didn't create this defense system to get rich. I didn't spend a year in hiding, testing, refining, and documenting this protocol because I wanted to build a business. I did it because that night, standing in my garage at 2 a.m. with a gun in my hand, after I saw the hard quarantine simulation, I swore I would never be helpless again. I swore I would never watch my family suffer because I trusted a system that was designed to betray me. And once I figured out how to exploit the AI's blind spot, once I saw how simple and effective this analog defense actually was, I realized I had a moral duty to share it. Because right now, there are millions of patriots like you, good men, responsible men, men who work hard and love their families, who have no idea they're sitting ducks. You're trusting a system that will sacrifice you without a second thought, and I can't live with that knowledge and do nothing. So I documented every single step, every tool, every piece of hardware, every technique. When you claim the Grid Phantom system today, here's exactly what you're getting. The complete Phantom manual, your full defense blueprint. A comprehensive 200-plus page digital guide that walks you through all 4 pillars from start to finish. This isn't theory. This isn't fluff. This is the exact protocol I use to disappear from the grid. Every chapter breaks down one pillar with crystal clear instructions. Step-by-step build instructions anyone can follow. Exact materials needed with direct purchase links. Troubleshooting guides for common issues. Safety protocols and legal considerations. Zero bullshit. Zero fluff. You could hand this to your teenage son, and he could build these systems by himself. It's that clear. The Audio Field Guide. Bonus. $47 value. The complete manual in audio format. Over 10 hours of detailed instruction. Listen while you work, while you drive, while you're building. Hands-free reference when you need it most. The materials blueprint. Complete shopping guide. I know how frustrating it is to start a project and realize halfway through that you're missing a critical part. So I created a complete, itemized shopping list with exact part numbers for every component, direct links to vetted suppliers I've personally bought from all of them, alternative options in case something's out of stock, estimated costs for every item, total materials cost, less than $250. That's for all 4 pillars. Complete grid independence for less than the cost of a single car payment. No guessing. No wasted trips to the hardware store. Everything you need, delivered to your door in 3 to 5 days. The printable schematics, visual assembly guides. Some people learn better from diagrams than text. I get it. So I created detailed, professional-grade schematics for each of the 4 systems. Print them out. Bring them to your workbench. Mark them up with notes if you want. These aren't complicated engineering blueprints. They're designed for regular people who just want clear, simple instructions. If you can follow IKEA furniture instructions, you can follow these schematics. Bonus number 1, the $10 Identity Vault. This is the bonus I wish I'd had before I went off-grid. When the digital world collapses, paper becomes power. This complete guide shows you exactly which documents you need certified copies of, where to get them, and how to do it without raising red flags. How to create a fireproof, waterproof storage system for under $60. The notarization protocol that makes your documents legally bulletproof. How to create backup access credentials for critical accounts. The one document most people forget that could cost them everything. This takes about 3 hours to complete, and it could save you from losing your house, your savings, and your legal identity. Bonus number 2, the hidden water cache. Most people think their only water options are bottled water, runs out in 24 hours, or expensive filtration systems. But there's a third option almost nobody knows about. Your home's existing plumbing contains a hidden emergency reserve, potentially 40 to 60 gallons of clean water that you can access with one simple hardware modification. This guide shows you the exact valve system to install, how to isolate your home's internal plumbing from the contaminated city supply, the 10-minute procedure to access your hidden reserve, how to make this water source last for weeks. When your neighbors are fighting over the last case of bottled water at Costco, you'll have a secret reservoir they don't even know exists. Bonus number 3, off-grid communication protocol. Information is survival. When the cell towers are dark and the internet is dead, you need to know. Is this blackout local or national? Is help coming? Should I stay or evacuate? This guide reveals 3 analog communication tools that work when everything digital is dead. Tool number 1, the $19 device that lets you receive emergency broadcasts from 200 plus miles away, even when local stations are offline. Tool number 2, the forgotten communication method that lets you send messages to family members across state lines. No license required. Total cost, $35. Tool number 3, the Neighborhood Watch communication system that lets you coordinate with trusted neighbors using technology that's been around for 100 years. You'll be the only person on your street who knows what's really happening, and information advantage can save your life. Total value of everything you're getting? $479. But you're not going to pay anywhere close to that. I'm keeping the price at $39 for now because I want to get this into the hands of as many responsible fathers as possible, as quickly as possible. But I need you to understand, I'm taking a risk just by making this public. The people I used to work for, the tech companies building this AI infrastructure, they don't like whistleblowers. They don't like former employees sharing internal knowledge about system vulnerabilities. I've already received 2 cease and desist letters from lawyers I can't name, representing companies I can't identify. They claim I'm violating NDAs. They claim I'm sharing proprietary information. I'm not. Everything in the Grid Phantom system is based on publicly available technology and my own independent research. But that doesn't mean they won't try to shut me down. So I can't promise this will be available tomorrow, or next week, or even next month. If I wake up to a lawsuit I can't afford to fight, this page disappears. If the legal pressure gets too intense, I pull the plug. And here's the other thing. As more people implement this protocol, as more homes become phantom assets, there's a chance, a real chance, that the AI's engineers will notice the anomaly. They'll see neighborhoods that should be on the grid but aren't showing up in the data, and they'll patch the blind spot. Right now, this works because they haven't thought of it. They haven't imagined that anyone would go fully analog. But if thousands of homes suddenly go dark to the AI's sensors, they'll investigate. They'll figure it out. They'll close the loophole. This window won't be open forever. So if you're sitting there, reading this, thinking, "I'll come back to this later," don't. Because later might be too late. Click the button below right now. Secure your access before this page disappears. I know you're skeptical. You should be. You're reading about some anonymous engineer making huge claims about AI conspiracies and government negligence. Why should you believe me? Here's my answer. You don't have to. I'm going to make this so risk-free for you that belief isn't required. Here's my 100% ironclad Grid Phantom guarantee. Claim the Grid Phantom system right now for just $39. Download the entire system, the guides, the shopping lists, the schematics, all 3 bonuses. Everything. Start reading the guide. Start building your defense. Follow my step-by-step instructions and see for yourself how simple this actually is. If at any point in the next 60 days, 2 full months, you decide this isn't the simplest, most effective defense against the AI grid lockout, if you decide I'm full of crap and this is all conspiracy nonsense, if you decide you'd rather trust the government to protect you, or if you don't like the videos or the instructions aren't clear, or you just change your mind for any reason, or no reason at all, just send me 1 email. That's it, 1 email, and I'll refund every single penny of your $39 contribution. No hoops to jump through, no forms to fill out, no questions asked. You get all your money back, and you keep everything. Keep the instructions, keep the bonuses, keep the schematics, keep all of it. I eat the cost. You risk nothing. Why would I offer such a generous guarantee? Because I know this works. I've built it with my own hands. I've tested it in real-world blackout scenarios. It works. And I know that once you start building this, once you see how simple and effective it is, you're not going to ask for a refund. You're going to thank me. But I'm willing to take that risk, because this isn't about profit. This is about duty. So you have absolutely nothing to lose and your family's safety to gain. The only risk you're taking is the risk of doing nothing. Let me paint you 2 pictures. Picture 1. It's 2 a.m. on a random Tuesday. The power goes out. Permanently. You're sitting in the dark. Your phone is dead. Your wife is scared. Your kids are asking questions you can't answer. By hour 6, the water stops running. By hour 24, the grocery stores are looted. By hour 48, you hear gunshots in the distance. Your neighbor, the guy you've waved to for 5 years, is at your door with 3 other men. They're not asking for help anymore. They're taking what you have. And you're standing there with a gun in your shaking hand, terrified, unprepared, helpless, thinking, I should have done something when I had the chance. Picture 2. It's 2 a.m. on a random Tuesday. The power goes out. Permanently. Your neighbors' houses go dark, but yours doesn't. Your family is calm. You flip the switch on your phantom power system. The lights came on. The small fridge is humming quietly. Your wife turns on the radio, your off-grid communication system. She hears the emergency broadcasts. She knows what's happening. Your kids are safe. They have water. They have light. They have a father who prepared. By hour 48, while your neighbors are panicking, fighting, desperate, you're invisible, a phantom, safe, sovereign. The AI sacrificed your region, but it can't sacrifice what it can't see. You're looking out your window at the chaos, and you're thinking, thank God I did something when I had the chance. Which picture do you want to be true? You're standing at a crossroads right now. This moment, this decision. One path leads back to the couch, back to trusting the system, back to hoping the government will save you when the grid fails. back to being a data point the AI can delete. The other path leads to sovereignty, to preparedness, to becoming the provider your family deserves. The AI isn't waiting. The engineered reckoning isn't some distant theoretical threat. It's a present danger. Solar flares happen. Cyberattacks happen. Software failures happen. And when one of them triggers the hard quarantine protocol, you'll have 48 hours before your neighborhood becomes a war zone. Are you going to be ready? Or are you going to be standing at your door with a gun, wishing you'd acted when you had the chance? Here's what you need to do right now. Step 1. Click the big button below that says, Get the Grid Phantom System now. Step 2. Enter your payment information on the secure checkout page. We use industry-standard 256-bit encryption. Your information is completely safe. Step 3. You'll get instant access to the entire system. The guides, bonuses, schematics, everything downloads immediately to your device. Step 4. Start learning the system tonight. Order your materials tomorrow. Start building this weekend. Step 5. In 48 hours, you're done. You're protected. You're invisible. You're a phantom. It's that simple. No complicated technical knowledge required. No expensive equipment. No endless prep work. Just 48 hours and $39 between you and complete grid independence. Your family is counting on you to make the right choice. Don't wait until the power is off. Don't wait until the water stops running. Don't wait until it's too late. Click the button below right now and claim your Grid Phantom system. Become the father your family needs. Become the provider who was prepared. Your duty is clear. Act now. Get the Grid Phantom system now, just $39. Listen to me carefully, because this is the last thing I'm going to say to you tonight. You are not taking a risk here. I am. If you get inside, go through the Phantom Grid system, and for any reason you feel it isn't worth 10 times what you paid, you send one email, you get every penny back. No questions, no hoops. You keep the book. You keep the bonuses. You keep the entire system. You risk nothing. The only real risk is doing nothing and waiting until it's too late. And I need you to understand something else. I cannot promise this page will still be here tomorrow. I'm already facing pressure for putting this out. Every day this stays live, the odds go up that it gets throttled, buried, or quietly taken down. If you can hear my voice right now, it means the window is still open, but it is closing. While you've been watching this, other men have already made their decision. In the time it took you to listen to this letter, dozens of fathers just like you have clicked the button, claimed their Phantom Grid system, and started building their defense. Right now, they are quietly becoming invisible to the very system that's lining you up as expendable. They will have light when the grid goes dark. They will have water when the taps run dry. They will have identity, communication, and a plan, while everyone else is panicking. And you? You're standing at the fork in the road. One path is simple. You close this, you tell yourself you'll come back later, and you go back to hoping someone else will fix it for you. The other path is harder, but it's the only one that leads to your family looking at you with relief instead of fear when the lights finally go out. So here's what you do next. You do the only thing a protector can do when he knows what's coming. You click the button on this page. You secure your access to the Phantom Grid system. You let me walk you through every step, one by one, until your home is no longer a soft target. Make your decision now, because the grid will not warn you before it sacrifices your neighborhood. Your family is counting on you, not on a promise, not on a politician, not on an AI, on you. Click the button, and I'll meet you on the inside. Still here? Here's what a few Phantom Grid users have had to say about my system. Sean from Columbus, Ohio says, I'm a 43-year-old electrician in Columbus, Ohio, married with 2 kids. I've worked around power for 20 years and honestly thought this would be another gimmicky prepper PDF. I was wrong. The part that hit me was how vulnerable our water and power really are once everything's tied into smart systems. I followed the Phantom Grid steps over 2 weekends. Installed the isolation valve, built the little 12-volt power core, set up the radio kit. We had a 9-hour outage last month during a storm. My wife barely noticed. We had lights in one room, hot drinks, and I was listening to updates while the rest of the street was literally sitting in their cars to charge phones. I don't scare easily, but I sleep better now. This wasn't theory. It was a build it once, use it when it counts kind of thing. Robert from Vancouver says, I'm a software engineer in Vancouver, working in cloud infrastructure. I read a lot of doomers online, so I went in pretty skeptical. What convinced me was how Thomas explains the difference between digital control and analog blind spots. That's exactly how we design systems. Automate everything you can see, ignore what you can't. I didn't build a bunker. I built the Phantom room setup. 1 battery box, isolation valve for the hidden water, paper identity vault, and a simple comms rig. It all fits in a closet. My power use on the meter actually went down. The biggest shift for me wasn't fear, it was control. I know exactly what will keep working if some overeager AI starts shutting off non-critical districts. That's worth a lot more to me than the price of the course. Sam from Tulsa says, I'm 39, mechanic, 3 kids. We're not rich. When the Texas freeze happened a few years ago, we watched friends down there melt snow in pots. That stuck with me. I grabbed Phantom Grid because it wasn't about buying 10 grand of solar. It was stuff I could actually afford. 1 battery, some hardware, and a plan. My wife rolled her eyes at first. Then we had a water main issue on our street, and the taps went dead for a day. I did the exact lockdown protocol from the book, and we had clean water in jugs while everyone else was driving to Walmart. That was the moment she said, okay, this just paid for itself. Mark from Canada says, my name is Mark. I'm 67 and retired from financial services in Calgary, Alberta. I've lived through enough once-in-a-lifetime events to stop trusting that the next one will be handled smoothly. What I liked about the Phantom Grid material is that it isn't macho fantasy. It's quiet, boring adult competence. Valves, wiring, paper documents, radios. Things that still work when apps don't. My wife and I now have one room set up exactly as described. If the power goes, that room stays lit, warm enough, and connected. Our identity papers are duplicated and sealed. We ran the 48-hour drill and found weak spots before anything happened for real. As someone who's seen plenty of too good to be true offers, this struck me as the opposite. Under-promised, over-delivered. Michael from Brooklyn says, I'm a 34-year-old single guy in a 1-bedroom apartment. I always thought serious prepping was impossible in a small space, so I never did more than a couple cases of water and a flashlight. Phantom Grid changed my mind because it's built for normal homes, not cabins in the woods. I don't have a basement, but I still set up the hidden water protocol using my heater and shutoff. Built the little 12-volt battery kit and lights in my bedroom. Put together a tiny analog identity vault and radio station log. None of it takes up more than a single plastic bin and a folder. When we had that last brownout, I was the only one on my floor who wasn't wandering the hall asking if anyone had candles. I wasn't panicking, I was just ready. That's the whole point. What else do you need to know? Absolutely nothing. There's no risk. You have 60 days to ask for a full refund. All the risk is on me. Even if you refund the program, and it still manages to protect your family, I don't care. I'm not doing this for money. I do it because I care about America and I care about people. So do yourself a huge favor and try out my Grid Phantom system right now. Please. I know you'll be glad you did.